Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Yes, and we're doing the second episode of Spy Family, which just premiered a day or two ago.
Yes, called Securing a Wife.
Yes, that's seriously the name.
But before we start,
be sure to like and subscribe for notification related to some future podcasts and pause videos.
And more reviews weekly of Spy Family. Now, before we start, we know there's been controversy online about this series
already
by people who've never watched it nor read the manga, and we want to tell you that if you haven't seen this series or read the manga, it is absolutely adorable, it's fun, it's engaging, and none of the things that are being claimed online are part of this story. And when you're looking at the pictures, remember it takes place in an alternate 40s
or 50s,
and it is, the first episode is him securing a daughter or securing a child, and the second is securing a wife. So right then and there, you know that whatever the controversies are being told online can't be true because he's getting a wife.
Right.
It's fun. It's a joy to watch. And this episode, again, it gave me much more than I expected, and it's fantastic.
Yes. And even better, we also heard the English dub when we watched episode 1. It is now coming available. The only thing is that you have to be aware that it's always an episode behind the Japanese dub. So unless you want to just skip a week so you can be on point with it, you have to either just stick with it in Japanese or just be a week behind for the English dub.
Very quickly, for MHA fans, Alex Organ is the voice of Twilight. Megan Shipman is the voice of Anya.
Yes. And
for this episode,
for this one, he's already got Anya, and he has to get a wife next because in order to do the interview to get into the school, it says they have to have two parents. There's no exceptions. If they aren't there, they can't go in. So they have to get all these files of the women that are unmarried in the city. Like the fact you have all of these on hand at this, what's going on with this country? And he's trying to find one that'll be the perfect one that wouldn't be like any controversies. There'd be no history of being married or divorced or anything. It has to be like a clean slate or you don't know what's there.
Right. And so he ends up finding or running into one of the women. He actually saw her files, because when he sees her, in his mind he goes through and he goes, oh, there you are. And he finds her file and she fits, no seedy background, never being married or divorced. No, we're not saying either of those are seedy. We're saying that he said seedy background. Then he said neither married or divorced.
Right.
Has a younger brother, much younger brother she takes care of. She works. This will fit.
Right.
And it's so funny because if you haven't seen it, Yor has a secret. Well, actually it's not a secret because they've been putting it all over online. It would have been a secret if they hadn't been putting spoilers everywhere. So you know that she's an assassin.
Right.
And he has no idea that she's an assassin, and she has no idea that he's a spy. But Anya knows everything because she's that telepath.
Right. And she hears both of them like, okay, this could work, but there's always some misunderstanding. So when Yor sees Anya, she thinks Twilight's already married.
Right.
And she already hears in the head like, okay, maybe she should try someone else. And she only wants to get a guy to go with her because her friends at work say, okay, you got to get a guy or else you're going to be counted as suspicious.
Yeah, and
you need to get married.
In this version of this universe, if you're not married, you're seen as a spy risk, that you are possibly a turncoat or a spy.
Right.
And it's like, what?
Right. So she just wanted to have him as the cover saying she has a boyfriend. So she sees that and she thinks he's married. And then Anya does like the worst acting ever. Say, oh, I long for a mama. It's like, what? And he said, what brought this on?
And I love that when Yor asks him questions, he answers. And you can hear Anya, of course, you hear her thoughts. She says, Papa is a big liar. Or Papa is a liar. And I don't care how many times she says it. It's just hilarious whenever she says it because, yeah, he is. And she knows. And it's so funny because he doesn't know that she knows, which makes it even more fun.
Right.
So in this episode, well, in the first episode, you saw he and Anya involved in some spy trouble. And in this episode, you see he and Yor involved in some spy trouble.
Right.
And it's almost like their first date before their date
Right. And and the whole thing is that everything escalates really quickly towards the end. They both have their reasons for doing it, and they're pretty okay with it. They're very honest when it comes to that.
In the party, you think, oh, they're going to go to the party. It's going to turn out well. They'll accept him. Well, you have this woman that's there with a husband, and she's got the home and everything, so she's supposed to be the epitome of a perfect woman in this
Universe.
Yeah. And she's jealous of Yor. It's obvious she's jealous of her.
Right.
And she wants to embarrass her and humiliate her. And she actually wants her arrested. She wants to report her and have her arrested.
Right.
So
It's like, what?
she gets upset when she sees Twilight, because if you haven't seen it, Twilight's hot. And she's like, I don't know when she got this man. She can't have a guy hotter than my husband. And she's jealous. He's intelligent. He's dressed well.
It's like,
and
what?
she's jealous of Yor already. So she
goodness.
decides to take an entire plate of hot food. I'm sorry, a platter of hot food, liquid hot food, and dump it on her
Right?
in case
It's like,
an accident.
what?
But she doesn't know Yor has all these assassin skills. So yes, true to anime form, she kicks up her leg. You see her panties, and she stops it from hitting her. And then Twilight, he looks surprised. He goes, "Wow, you've really got skill."
It's open. It's no problem with
And the
anything.
woman who did this, her mouth is open, and she's like, "How did she do this?" And so from that point on, you know, okay, they're gonna get along just fine.
Right.
She actually starts being afraid afraid of Yor, I should say, from that point.
Right.
I have to say, the husband, the entire time he's saying, "Honey, stop! Don't do that. Why are you doing that? Don't do that. Stop it! Stop it! You're being ridiculous." She doesn't listen to a word he says.
No.
Sounds like now.
and then like when it gets towards the end, they kind of agree to have like a sort of faux marriage where it's just so they can keep doing what they're doing, their job in secret. They don't ask any other question besides that. They perfectly accept that, and it pretends to be the husband and wife just so she can continue her job as an assassin. He can keep being a spy, and there's no type of mixed thing going
And
on.
also, the main reason for her is to make her brother happy, because she lied and told her brother she had a boyfriend.
Right,
And he is, you'll find out about him later, we won't spoil it. And so she wants him to think that she has a boyfriend, so he's happy, so he doesn't mess up going on his so-called trip, which is really a mission. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff in
right.
it. And so that's her number one goal. His number one goal is to secure a wife for the mission. And then her second goal is for the women at work to stop picking on her, making fun of her, calling her old, and saying she's a spy and all these other things.
Right.
So by the end of the episode, mission has been accomplished on both sides.
Right.
If you haven't seen it, it's fun, it's great, you should watch it. It's available exclusively on Crunchyroll, as we mentioned, and as a sub, and now as a dub a week in arrears.
Right.
And last but not least, we'll tell you next week who does the voice of Yor after we watch the dubbed version.
Right.
But if you love Aizawa, you're gonna love Twilight, not only because of the character himself and the writing, but you're literally hearing Aizawa voice the character of a spy. What could be more fun?
Right. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos on your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Yes, and we started this run a little over, but we hope you enjoyed it and had fun.
Right.
Stay tuned next week for episode 3 of Spy Family. And again, if you haven't seen it, it's on Crunchyroll exclusively. If you have, let us know what you think in the comments below, especially about the fake controversy that's not really a controversy because this doesn't exist in this manga or anime.
Right. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Mask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.